understand American culture, you have to understand this history. And before we jump in, don't forget to hit the like button and share this video with a friend. Let's find out.
Hey Liam, what if I told you that one of America's most famous heroes wasn't a soldier, a president, or a millionaire?
Hey Emma, that sounds hard to believe. Those are usually the only people who make it into the history books.
Right? But what if I told you he carried no weapons, built no empire, and still became a household name across the country?
Okay, now you've really got my attention. That definitely doesn't sound like your typical American hero.
Exactly. So why do you think millions of Americans still know his name today?
Well, there must be something pretty special about his story, if people are still talking about him after all these years.
His name was Johnny Appleseed.
Ah, I've definitely heard that name before. But I don't think most people actually know the real story behind it.
So, what's the classic version that most American kids grow up hearing?
The traditional story is about this cheerful guy who traveled thousands of miles across the American frontier, just planting apple trees, helping out settlers, and spreading kindness wherever he went.
It's a great image, but why did it become so powerful?
I think it's because it creates this picture of a simple traveler doing good deeds while exploring a massive, growing country.
True, but why was planting apple trees such a big deal back then? It sounds so simple.
Back in those days, it wasn't just about growing fruit. Planting apple trees was a way to help families build stable lives. It was about leaving something behind that would benefit the whole community for years to come.
Besides the trees, what else made people look up to him so much?
He was just known for being incredibly kind, generous, and always ready to lend a helping hand.
I also heard he was a huge animal lover. Is that part of the legend too?
Absolutely. Most of the stories describe him as someone who cared deeply about animals and lived in perfect harmony with nature.
Why do you think those specific details became such a huge part of his image?
They basically turned him into this ultimate symbol of compassion and respect for the natural world.
So he became way more than just a guy who planted trees, right?
Exactly. Over time, he came to represent the exact values that many Americans look up to.
And what would you say those values actually are?
The story really highlights things like generosity, grit, optimism, and just being always ready to help others succeed.
That version definitely sounds inspiring, but was that the whole picture?
Not exactly. While parts of the legend are based on reality, there's a lot more to the story than most people realize.
So, what sets the real story apart from the bedtime version kids usually hear?
Well, the real story shows a guy who wasn't just generous and adventurous, but also surprisingly smart and practical.
Are you saying the actual man behind the legend was even more interesting than the myth itself?
Oh, absolutely. And that's why so many people get blown away when they find out who Johnny Appleseed really was.
So, before we dive deeper, what's the main takeaway about the legend itself?
Just remember that the legend is about a kind traveler who became this symbol of hope, generosity, and that classic adventurous spirit of early America.
And is that where things start getting even more interesting?
You bet. Once you look past the legend, you discover the real man who inspired one of America's most beloved stories.
If the legend is just the tip of the iceberg, who was Johnny Appleseed in real life?
The man behind the name was actually John Chapman, a real guy who lived during a super important chapter in American history.
When and where was John Chapman born?
He was born in Massachusetts back in 1774, right as the U.S. was starting to emerge as a new nation.
What kind of world was he growing up in during those years?
America was expanding fast. People were pushing into new territories, and opportunities were popping up in places that hadn't even been settled yet.
So how did he get connected to apple trees in the first place?
He realized that as settlers moved westward, they were going to need orchards and reliable resources to actually survive and build communities.
What exactly did he do to help those growing communities out?
He basically traveled ahead of the settlers and started apple nurseries, where young trees could grow and be ready to sell later on.
Wow. How is that different from the popular image of him just scattering seeds randomly across the countryside?
Well, the legend makes it sound totally random, but the reality was much more organized and strategic.
What do you mean by strategic?
John carefully picked his locations, planted the nurseries, and would actually come back later to manage them as real business investments.
So he wasn't just wandering around without a plan?
Not at all. He understood exactly where towns were likely to grow and got things ready for the future demand.
That sounds surprisingly modern for someone living more than 200 years ago.
Right? And that's exactly why historians often describe him as a clever entrepreneur.
Why don't most people hear about that side of the story when they're kids?
Children's stories usually focus on the adventure and the kindness, rather than the business side and long-term planning.
Was his business actually successful, though?
Yeah, it was. Settlers desperately needed apple trees, and John was always there, ready to provide them just as the new communities arrived.
But how did he even know where people were heading?
He just kept his eyes glued to the moving trends, and usually hit the road way before everyone else even packed their bags.
Talk about staying ahead of the game. Did the settlers actually appreciate all that hard work?
Oh, big time. Back then, having an orchard was like hitting the jackpot. It was a game changer for families trying to set up camp in a brand new place.
What made apple trees such a massive deal back then anyway?
They were basically a gold mine. You could eat the fruit, trade it, and rely on those trees to keep producing year after year.
So did John Apple Chapman actually get rich off this?
He made a decent living, sure, but he was famous for keeping things super low-key and living a really modest life.
Why on earth would someone live like that if their business was booming?
Everything points to the fact that he just didn't care about hoarding cash. For him, it was all about his personal beliefs, his travels, and looking out for the communities.
So he basically mixed sharp business smarts with a total minimalist vibe?
Sure. And honestly, that's exactly why he stood out like a sore thumb, compared to everyone else at the time.
What does that say about the guy?
Just shows he was all about purpose and making a real impact, rather than chasing status or collecting stuff.
Is that one reason his story stuck around for so many generations?
Absolutely. People just love a story about someone who makes it big without losing their soul or changing who they are.
When you look at the real John Chapman, what's the absolute biggest surprise?
Honestly, it's the fact that this legendary tree planter was actually a super sharp businessman who spotted opportunities way faster than anyone else around him.
Does knowing that make the real story way cooler than the myth?
I think so, yeah. The real story shows how pure brains, vision, and planning ahead actually shaped his whole crazy life.
So the guy behind the legend wasn't just doing this for fun or passing the time.
Not even close. He was building something massive long before anyone else could even picture what the future looked like.
Is that why historians still look up to him today?
Exactly. He mixed foresight, pure hustle, and helping people in a way that's still incredibly impressive centuries later.
What's the big takeaway from this part of his story?
I'd say the biggest lesson is that the best opportunities always go to the people who prepare for the future while everyone else is still catching up.
That's a great lesson. But let's look at the bigger picture here. Why does knowing about Johnny Appleseed actually matter for someone learning English?
Oh, it's a total game changer for conversation. Johnny Appleseed isn't just a random history topic. He's a massive cultural reference. In the US, if you call someone a Johnny Appleseed, you're saying they travel around spreading a good idea, a trend, or a business concept.
Ah, I see. So it's not just about memorizing a past event, it's about understanding the cultural shortcuts Americans use when they speak?
Exactly. If an American brings up Johnny Appleseed in a conversation about business or travel and you actually know who that is, you instantly connect on a deeper level.
That makes so much sense. By the way, guys, what about you? Have you ever heard of Johnny Appleseed before? Or did you get caught off guard by a cultural reference like this? Let us know in the comments.
Yes, definitely drop those comments because your response is super important to us. And speaking of getting caught off guard by words you don't know, that's exactly what we're going to fix right now.
Oh, absolutely. If you want to stop freezing up every time you see an unfamiliar word and finally start reading smoothly, you cannot miss our next video.
It's a total game changer. We're sharing the ultimate strategy to help you absorb content just like a native speaker.
So don't wait. Click right here on the screen on How to Read English 3 times Faster Without a Dictionary, and let's unlock your fluency together.
See you there.
Bye!